As we all know, it's still the Heilige Purim.
Is it?
Avada.
JJ, this looks a little weird.
Purim.
Yeah,
It's
well,
good. It's good. It's good.
it's flat, no?
Yeah. It's kind of a little iced tea.
Bring one of those ones. No?
Whatever, there's only too much sugar.
It's sweet, right?
It's very.
Nah, this is very
It's delicious.
I've had this before. It tastes like sugar.
Yeah. One Shabbos, no? What could be?
No, so maybe
Right.
Everything's got sugar.
Maybe a
Maybe
little-
soda.
maybe a little gun of it. Oh, let's make a l'chaim. Let's make a l'chaim eating.
Fine. Oh, it's Mamish Purim?
It's Mamish Purim. I'll tell you what. I'll explain it.
Within 3 days, that's why.
I'll tell you like this. First of all, let's make a hakel, everybody. Let's make a l'chaim.
Fine. Who's having a l'chaim with the Rebbe? Who's having?
We should have l'chaim. We should have l'chaim.
Like water, you say.
Burich atu Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol nehiyeh b'dvoreh.
Oh, fine.
Amen. L'chaim yidin. L'chaim levrochem. L'simson u'l'simcha l'yishiyah l'nechoma. L'bracha l'hatzlacha siyata d'shmayim. So what do I mean that it's still Purim, Rabbi say?
If you don't know how many hours I spent trying to find Pesach Purim night, you would have felt like I was there. Literally 3 hours.
I felt
2.5
I felt
hours.
your presence the
Thank you.
whole time.
No,
But now we have to make l'chaim because l'chaim we didn't
last
have.
time. Okay, let's make it happen.
Wow. Anyways, so we all know that this l'chaim levrochem, Freilich and Purim. We all know that there's a saying in Breslev. The Heilige Rebbe said that at one time all of the beginnings were Pesach. But now, and that was it. So Reb Mosh said, and all the Talmidim understood, but now it's from Purim. What does that mean? So I don't know. And I wasn't even planning on going there, but Hashem said it, but it'll be, let's see what Hashem is trying to get us to say. Purim is a build-up. Everybody's favorite Yom Tov is Purim. Everybody. I mean, everybody's favorite Yom Tov is everything, but everybody does have a favorite, little more, Purim. I ask my kids, who wants we should have Purim all over again? Everybody, I mean, of course, right? Everybody, right away. Fine, Hanukkah also, Pesach also, I'm saying, but we love Purim. We love Purim. And the truth is that Purim is the greatest day of the year. Fact, Matzis. Everybody knows the greatest day is Yom Kippur. Greater than Yom Kippur
Yom Kippurim.
is Purim, Yom Kippur. It's the most awesomest day, and therefore we try to extend that day. We have Yud Aleph, Yud Beis, Yud Gimel, Yud Dalet, Tez Vav, Tez Zayin, Yud Zayin. We have Sheisa v'Shivsa. For real. Tomorrow. But the Havamina, we all know, is much greater than the Maskana. So the Maramipanu says, the Kotzker, all the Tzaddikim, that the Tzaddikim didn't guess, like, okay, when could the other 2 days be? You know, maybe it's April Fool's Day, maybe it's January 23. No. They said Yud Zayin Tezvav. That means, says the Maramipanu, that they saw that the light of Purim is shining in Tezvav and Tezayin. But, problem was, it was a problem. It says the Megillah of Lo Yavar. So therefore, for the reading of the Megillah, couldn't be, it has to be earlier days. Yud Aleph and Yud Beis. Yud Gimel Zman Keilu HaKarli. But we always know that usually in a Yom Tov, as everybody says in the Mishnah, the Gemara itself says, the really Purim is the only thing that has an Akdama, where you make anything early. Every other thing, you have Ashlama, you can be Mashlam. Once you have the Yom Tov, so that makes sense. Sheisa v'Shivsa would make more sense, because it's the continuation. Once you had, just like anybody knows, Sukkot and Pesach, for some reason, you couldn't bring the carbon the first day, you have 7 days for Shlumin. So easily, I mean, but this is the Chiddush of Purim. Purim takes you wherever you want to go. Purim goes backwards, forwards, up and down. And it's not only Purim, it's not only these 5 days, it's also The whole Chodesh of Adar, Chodesh that was Nepach Lon L'Sasin L'Simcha, like everybody knows the famous Rishalmi. The guy's taking a spaceship to the moon. He won't have anybody reading Megillah for him on Yud Aleph from further. So of course, then you could read it from Rosh Chodesh Adar. Because the whole month is amazing. The whole month was Nepach Lon L'Sasin L'Simcha. And therefore, Purim, all the beginnings now are from Purim. Because the build-up to have to Purim, we wait for Purim. The only Yom Tov Eibush that teases us with is Purim. Finally got to Adar. And they said, like, no, I don't mean this Adar. I meant the next Adar. You're like, wow, Purim. So of course, they said you have both this. Purim Gadol, Purim Gadol. But right, the Yom Tov, everyone's waiting. Everyone's waiting for Purim. And once it comes, it doesn't just go. All the Svarim say, Mishnah Chmasad Marbim B'Simcha, and you're never supposed to be Memayit, even when we come to Chodesh Av, which is a month that we have to be Memayit. Chazal already tell us what to be Memayit in. It doesn't ever mean to detract from Chas v'Chalila your Simcha. There's three things: Binyan Shel Simcha, Natiyah Shel Simcha. Right, the third thing the Gemara, which I remember right now, says that you have to be Memayit from. But Simcha is the most awesomest mitzvah in the world. And every year, as we get to Adar, we have to start building our Simcha from anew for a whole year's worth of Simcha. I didn't say it here, you guys didn't hear it yet, but Hashem, I'm sure somebody else, I'm sure, said it greater than me earlier before me, but the Heilige Piaseczna says that if I thought about it and I think it's mine and I'm going to spoil from the Vart, as if I was Mechadish it. So even if it was somebody else's, I'm so to spoil from the Vart, I think Hashem sent it to me, and I had more like a smilus. We know that the Indian of Adar is living with the Aluf Shalom, living with the Eibishter, mamish in the nitty-gritties of life. That's the Chiddush of the Nes of Purim, right? Different than Pesach, which could be what's the Rebbe that was what the Heilige Rebbe was telling us in the beginning. We know Purim, we know Pesach is where everything starts from. HaChodesh HaZalachem, Rosh Chodashim, this is where it starts, Nisan, right? But that was the miracles, that were the crazy miracles that broke the laws of nature and broke the Seder Olam. And everything is from Purim, because now it's so much greater to recognize Hashem in every Hashgacha Pratis that there is. In every single thing, in every cockroach that's walking by my toe, not here, not in this place, I mean anywhere else, yeah, I would know for sure, I have to believe that the Eibush, the Hashgacha Pratis decided that should happen. That's Nes Purim. The Nes Purim is so great and so awesome and so gewalt that in every aspect of my life, not only in the things that could change nature, that could bring, right, dinosaurs to dance with mice, right, like what happened by Mitzrayim, by Makis Orov, the craziest things happen. Polar bears were mamish hanging out with the guys that need the heat. Whichever animal that is, right? The mom is doing the work together. It was more the Kriyas Yamsuf, but we need more than that, right? Every aspect. And Purim, as we spoke about many times, Purim was just nothing out of the ordinary. Stupid king, as all the other stupid kings. Fine, Gemara says Chacham Atipish, but the Gemara comes to Maskana Lachayre. He was definitely not so. The whole mace of the Gemara says Befurish. Right? The Gemara says the nays of the second Igeris, the Igeris that came out to wipe out the Jews, they knew their king is a wacko. He sent out a Jew, right? The Igeris Rishonis that were sent out to, that every man has to be the master and be. They were like, what's up with this king? You know what I mean? All of a sudden, now he's decided to get out the Jews. Let's wait and see what happens next, right? So he wasn't. So this was typical things. He was kings in those days. But the Miller writes that the Meluchas and the anarchies in those days, the kings, they were nothing special. They were a bunch of wild boars who had more blood in their koyach and who was able to kill better and who was a bigger, who could drink more, who was a bigger manuvel. That was the, there was no moedik goinis chashivas over here, but the kings, right? So this guy wiped out his wife that he asked crazy things from, and then there wasn't a woman in all 127 countries that he wasn't with, a retarded man. Yeah, mom's crazy, and then all of a sudden, fine, so kill the next guy, fine, this guy's, mom's everything regular, but if you look at the Megillah, Gemara already says, a moedik chizik b'chlal, which is kedai to talk about, yeah, the Gezerah does not get nechtam. It's not completely mamish. We're not eradicated completely up until a little story happens. Mamish, the shortest part of the Megillah. Few short lines in the Megillah. Mamish, a pitsy, schmitzy, little piece, right? A little story. I think maybe 4 lines of the Megillah, that's it. Bix and the Sarge are planning to kill the king. Mordechai hears and lets the king know about it. End of the story of the Megillah. We all know the Gishmak. We know already from the Midrash, from the Gemara, that he understood Tarshish because he was from the Shivim Zekanim. That's right. The Psukim is just Mamish, a short few lines. Couple of guys, 2 guys tried killing the king. Mordechai heard them. Mordechai says, but that was the main thing of the story. That this was the refuah, Kodim Lamaka. Balailahu, not that the Shnas HaMelech was right, try to see, right, what happened.
I had this thought today that Shnas HaMelech was Rosh Hashanah. Sefer Zichronot. Rosh Hashanah, that's when the Melech is looking at the Sefer.
That's right, that's how you state you.
Everything starts at Rosh Hashanah.
And that's why in Breslov, when they read the Megillah by HaMelech, they make the Rosh Hashanah HaMelech, and then everyone starts patching. Everyone does the right. You've seen the Breslov HaMelech, right? And everyone starts clapping and patching a Rosh Hashanah by the Megillah, by this part.
Wow. I heard something so deep. That Yisrael Odessa says about Mashiach that he goes to Uman and he brings Rabbi Nachman with him back to Eretz Yisrael. He brings him with him to Eretz Yisrael. He doesn't Melech HaMashiach. He takes it in Rosh Hashanah. The Gula starts in Uman on Rosh Hashanah
and brings him to Yerushalayim.
And he brings him to Yerushalayim, brings him to Eretz Yisrael.
And we're all ready. But listen to this. I want to figure out this word. Yeah. So listen to this. So what's this? The Gemara already says because by Jews the refuah comes first. Once the refuah is in place, so then the Eibishter brings down, the hardcore, the Makam. It's a huge chizik. I was talking to somebody the first Purim Yudalid by night. I was going through a lot of hardships. I said, I want to tell you, you're a Jew. He's like, yeah, okay, shkoyach. Well, I said, so you should be so happy that mom's homeless now, like mom's whole family, like going through gullahs, a whole Indian. I said, because believe if the Makkah came, the refuah was soon. Hold on tight. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's easy. Hold on tight because that's the message of Purim. That once Bigson and Serish and Mordechai gets his word in, so that's going to be the later, by Lailu Nadu Shnas HaMelech, the Yeshua is in, so then Nechtam, Gzer Betit, because he's already the way out. So you have to believe when a person's mamish, that's what David HaMelech says in Tehillim, he said every Shchodesh and Hal, Dochi D'Chisayne Limpoil, Hashem Azaroni. When a person mamish feels he's over, he's limpoil. Right? He's over. Hashem Azaroni. The issue is right here. But anyways, so what goes on? Rabbi say? So we're talking about the Smoydika Purim, the Smoydika Simcha, the Smoydika Hashkocha Prati is to believe that every part of is the Eibishter. Now that doesn't end. That's not a nace. That akara, that recognition, just continues. We have to mamish, ingrain it into our minds. That's what the Gemara says. If you want your business to be successful, Adri B'Morim, right? They were put in Rosh Chodesh Adri, as it says, Adri B'Morim Hashem, which is the Heilig B'nei Saskar at length. It explains to us that means they have to put in the belief of Hashkocha Pratis that the Eibishter is with you in every single step of the way. So therefore, it doesn't make a difference if you do more shtadlus, less shtadlus. The Eibishter is right there. If you're doing what you got to do, what the Torah wants from you, and the rest is you're doing good. The Eibishter is Hashkocha Pratis. So that it's still other. And now, I said with the Aleph of Aluf Shalom, that the Aleph is the only ois in the Torah that any direction that you're at, there's a hand sticking out to get you. Bottom right, there's a stick of the Aleph right there. Bottom left, you got a piece of the Aleph right there. The Aleph is an X. It's got 4 hands. The only ois in the whole ois is that wherever you are, you're on the top left, stick out, the devotion's right there for you. Top right, wherever you want, the Eibishter is right there for you. You just have to grab onto that little handle the Eibishter is giving you. And that avoida doesn't end. And that avoida continues and continues and continues and continues and continues every year, greater and more awesome until the Zoicha Mamish, it should be already, Purim will be never ever ending, right? The Purim is going to be a Yom Tov which is never ending. And the Nakud is, so therefore, when we're still in Purim, and also very interesting, the first new Yom Tov right after Purim also has come out the same Oisius. This Shabbos, Rabbi Yisai, is a huge Shabbos, Parshas Parah. Parshas Parah seems the root of the word par and par, right? The Purim, there is something to that also. Because actually, Par is like big dinim. And Purim, we will mamtik the big dinim. And Par is the same thing. Par, you mamtik the dinim with the hay. The hay is the oisius of the end oisius, menatzpach. Menatzpach, these things, which is actually the kavanus of the last bracha of the Megillah, V'araves Riveinu, right, and Adonis Dineinu, all of these nun vavs, 5 times nun vav, 5 times 56 is how much? Which is oisius par. The hay, that's why para, and Purim also, the way that we were zoicher, were through the koyach of giving him patch, of mamish, the moon that we had in the Eibishter being right there, mamish sweetened the biggest judgment, and then we go into Parshas Para, which is par with hay, the 5 oisius of Menatzpach, which Menei Sasach Vada discusses at length in Parshas Para, what the Indian is. But that means that after we finish Purim, we go into another aspect of Purim. And this Purim, right, which is an aspect, Purim B'chlal is here to purify the whole year. That's what the Gemara tells us. What happened? What was Purim? We give such credit. We're wiping out this guy Haman. Wipe him out. Make sure every time you mention him to Megillah, we zet him on his head, and there's no chance of survival. The guy's out. But then the Gemara gives him the biggest cheshivas in the world. What 48 Nevi'im and 7 Nevi'os weren't able to do, Haman the Great was able to do. The guy that mom was shooting in the head, all around the I'm whacking him, I'm banging him, we hang him up on the tree, and everyone, this guy, greatest guy. Why? Because the Nakuti brought us to tshuva. He purified us. Fine, we don't want to be purified that way, spooked out wits, you know what I mean? Avad, it's much easier, much smoother, much more geschmack. Just listen to the Rabbonim, you know what I mean? Listen to the Chachamim that are out there saying, hey, tzaddikim lech, you know, guys, come on, do tshuva. Nah, it doesn't work. This guy comes in a jihad suit and is about to blow us all up. Whoa, we do tshuva. But the idea is, right, that clearly is in order to just purify us, bring out our essence, bring out the purity of Klal Yisrael. That Vait is also the Gemara, everybody knows. That they asked the Talmidim of Shim Bar Yochai. They're like, whoa, what a wild story happened with him Purim. What really happened? Why was Klal Yisrael nigzar for such gezeirus? So they went to Sudas HaChashverosh. Okay, what else? Well, just a day before that, they all bowed down to Avodah Zarah. So what does Reb Shem answer? So what did Talmidim answer? Oh man, if so, then the Taka deserves to be wiped out. Why they get saved? So what did the Gemara answer? No, because they didn't really mean it. On the outside, they faked it. Deep down, they were a bunch of Moranos. They really believed in the Eibishter. They just had no choice. They were afraid. So to the Eibishter made this spooky-looking thing that on the outside looked spooky, but inside was really great. It was here to purify the Yid. What happened to Parshas Parah? Parshas Parah, which is the Shabbos we're entering. Shabbos Parah is something which also doesn't make sense. Similar to the story of Haman, which Haman, the worst guy in the history of ever, and he, you know, in a certain aspect, we give him big credit, and he's like to have kids, Talmid Chachamim. What happens? So here we have the same thing. You have the Paraduma. We all know the Paraduma doesn't make sense. It's a choik, right? The guys that are involved, it's Matai.
Which kids did he have that were Talmid Chachamim?
He was zoichet to have of his descendants that they were Megayer, and they became big Talmid Chachamim.
Which kid? All his kids died.
No, 10. 10. We hung up 10.
That's why I find confusing.
10 sons, the Gemara says. That
we
hung.
hanged 10.
But he was.
How many more did he have?
He had a lot more. Don't forget, he was a perverted guy. He was a womanizer. He had a lot of children. There's a lot more. So one of them, I guess, he had some kavanas l'shem shamayim somewhere down the line. And Avad, if we give him credit, the Eibishter gives credit to everybody. Even the biggest Russia, the Eibishter just credit. If there's a bill to pay, Eibishter pays it up, right? So he was like to have. He brought everybody to Tshuva, so he was like to have a couple of good guys out there.
It's complicated because I'm saying the common gearing from my mother. It's not so simple.
It's not so simple. Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
If it happened to tell us, and then once it's the tell us, then you accept them already.
No, the mother wasn't from Amalek.
But I'm telling you, it's not a simple thing. But that's the idea of the Paraduma. Very good. This adds the whole idea of the Paraduma. What does it say about the Paraduma? It's Matayr, those that are Tomei. But everybody involved in making this concoction, what happens to him? He becomes Tomei. He's got to come to Machna. Guys making the ingredients, making the concoction to purify everybody, they get Chutz Lamachna, they got to go out because they're Tomei. Yeah, what's up? We don't know. It's a choik, right? Shlomo Melech asked. He's like, you got to let me know what's going on. What's the
on the girls or the boys? Or both?
I don't remember. What is it? By Amalek, is it... no, we had to wipe out everybody. We had to everybody wipe. Right, that's what happened with Shalom Melech. Shalom Melech lost this whole thing because he didn't kill out the men, women, and children. He had Rachmanos on the woman. Everybody had to be wiped out.
Shlomo Melech.
Mm-hmm.
Shlomo Melech.
Shaul.
Shaul, yeah.
Yep. But,
He had Rachmanos on the woman.
yeah, that's why he lost it. He didn't listen to the
On
Eibishter.
the-
Woman of Amalek, he had Rachmanis on?
He didn't kill out the children. Literally, he thought
That's why
he
he
thought he
said-
was a bigger Rachman than the Eibishter. Eibishter knows best. But anyways, so this is the same idea. So
That was
Purim
before the Purim
didn't
story,
end.
obviously, right?
That's why. That's why
That's
I'm.
why the Purim story happened.
That's the Purim, and therefore we're still today in the matzav of Purim because we're still in this essence that we know there's a big chizik. And I'll tell you just one word in this week's parsha to bring it in.
We wouldn't have Purim without Shalom Melech if he killed all the.
The Gogis,
We would have had Yes, Amalek, and
it would have been done for history.
I mean, it clearly wasn't because it was.
Everything at the end of the day is Hashem's ratzon.
Oh,
Even if Shaul, you know, made a mistake.
of course, Shaul is a big person. We don't just
He was the first.
we don't throw him under the rug. Yeah. But this is the Indian Rabbi's side. There's a pasuk this week's parsha which the Sfarim darshan like this: "Ufashat es begodav v'lav begodav acherim, v'etzisadesh v'chitz l'machina makom toim." Should just one word to bring in what we're discussing, tie it into the parsha. Basically, what goes on in Purim, which is the mitzvah of coming to Adol Yoda, we do Ratzon Hashem, whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense. Right? We got to do everything. Adoma is a choik, doesn't have to make sense to you. Now, we know Adoma, not yet. Yeah, that's the famous question of Moshe Darshan that says that it came to clean up the mess of the Chet Egel. But fine, it goes much deeper. We have to know if that's the only reason, if that's the main reason. But Torah says it's really a choik. Really never know anything. The greatest thing to know is that we don't know anything. But this is a very important thing because we know that anybody that messes around with the king, right? We have a Sultan in the Gemara, right? With David HaMelech and Novo, right? There's a halacha. You're disrespectful to a king, there is no second chance. Moed b'malchus, boom, right? That's the answers over there. Abigail, we don't have to be done him by night, yeah, but he doesn't need. But we don't need a daytime bezdin to work this out. It's a very clear halacha. From a chutzah to the king, he dropped dead. And here we have the Malka Shalolim. Melech Malchim Lachem was more powerful and greater than any. I mean, not even comparison. And the Eibush, no matter how many times we mess up, no matter what we do and how we fall and how we're just troublemakers. The Eibush is Mechila, Slicha, Chaburah. The Eibush is waiting for us. And this is Merumas. And the main thing that knocks us down is our own das, our own seichel. That's why you have a mitzvah of Adol Yoda. Get rid of your seichel, because what breaks us is our own minds. We make our own bezdin and we make our own decisions. I'm so messed up. There's no way you can even look at me in the face. I'm so messed up. The whole time we keep on being down ourselves, like Abdi Ebish discovered Lamisa. We kill ourselves, throw ourselves under the rug. We mamish, we harass ourselves, and we make ourselves so guilty, and then we can't serve Hashem, we can't daven. 1 second. Who are you to decide these mises on yourself when it comes to the Eibishter's cover? The Eibishter says something else. The Eibishter says, and Yishboim Klal. The Eibishter says that a person could come back and do tshuva. The Eibishter says this pasuk. Ufashet es begodov. Begodov is a lashon. Oh, first of all, begodov, as we know, could be also boigdim. Boigdim is sinners. And boigdim is also the levushim of machshava. V'lovesh es begodov. A person loves to take his sin and put it on as his beged, and therefore, a mom is the worst guy. I can't do tshuva. Here, so many times I talk to people, try to be mechazik them. That's great, that's all true you're saying, but you don't know me. Yeah, I don't. The Eibishter does. Torah says, "V'lavash es fashat es begodim." Take off, ufasha. Take off these begodim. V'lavash begodim acher. Put on different types of clothing. Put on different types. Take off this in you that you feel so guilty about yourselves, And mamish v'hoitzis adeshel mechutz l'machin l'mokum tor. Remove from yourself all of this dust, all of this deshel, and bring yourself to makom of tor. Bring yourself to a place where you can believe that the Eibishter loves you with the most pure sense of love. There's such a chiddush, such a chizuk, such an awesome Torah that that's from the tzaddikim. Bring yourself to makom tor. Let your heart burn for the Eibishter. Doesn't make sense to you. Doesn't have to make sense to you. For Aduma doesn't either make sense to you. Story of Purim doesn't either make sense to you. Everything, in fact, the whole world is a makom that it's not our place to understand and to know. Our avoid is to serve the Eibishter Pashat Lamaylim and Tamvadas. The idea of Klal Yisrael is that we believe that Bnei Yissaschar is all about us, all over Purim and Zohar and Paravaiter. The beauty of our Emunah is that our Emunah doesn't come because we've figured out our Emunah. Our Emunah is an Emunah because our Emunah is an Emunah Messiris, that this is what my mother Tati taught me, Ad Moshe, Ad Adam Arish, this is it. Avada, there's an Indian, a person, the Heilige Pisetzna talks about this at length also. Avada, a person has to make the decision to serve the Eibush, to renew that Emunah, not just do things out of okay, I'm going to do this because this is what I was told to do. No, that's not what we're talking about. I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. Avada, the Emunah is the Emunah that I accepted because this is what I believe 100% without any goyness, without any chachmas. Why? The danger of chachma is when a person starts chachmas, comes a bigger chachma and teaches you different. Could be he's totally wrong because somebody could always disprove that chachma, this that chachma. Every chachma can be disproven. Emunah is something which is emunah tahira, purely the Messiah service. My job is to mechadish that emunah out of free will, that I want to do this emunah, and I love the Eibishter, and I know the Eibishter is true, and no matter what happens in my life, and no matter what nesyonis I'm going through, and no matter what averis I might have done, that is mamish not supposed to hold me back. Avodah should be fakert. I use it in serious that I'm not done getting close to the Eibishter. I'm not done doing tshuva. So much Torah to learn, so much tefillas to daven, so much shmiras hakedusha that I need in my life. But chas v'chalila, to plug myself out, that's mamish the biggest yish. That's mamish the biggest stira to the adouma. That's the biggest stira to the Indian of avodas Hashem. Avodas Hashem is a mechadish betuvay b'chol yom tamid. Every single moment I'm mechadish my connection with the Eibishter with bigger returns. Whatever happens, the Eibishter created a world with this tayva these banana peels that you slip and you fall, but you get up and you go up and you continue. And no matter what happens, wherever you stand, you have to believe that the second you cry out, you scream out to the Eibishter, Rabbeinu Shloim, please, I want to be with you, and I know you want to be with me, and you are with me, and if it take me out of my blood to bring me holy, bring me close to you. Avad and Avad, the Eibishter is right there and fishes you out in the biggest oifen, and that's the simcha. Therefore, Purim never ends. Purim is the time where a person is supposed to be was born in these avoiders. The Dalit Parshas are all about this, from Shkolim and from Zohar and Purim and Paraduma and then it's Chachus, right? This is all the avoided. This is that month where a person is supposed to infuse himself with this belief, and then the whole year we got to carry it out. We always have to remember. We have to come back to it. We have to chazer it over. But this is the time where we have to mamish implement in ourselves the Emunah. And just because Purim passed on the calendar date doesn't mean that the essence of Purim, we're still in Adar, we're still in the middle of the Dalit Parshas, we're still here. It's a never-ending Yom Tif, and that's why it says that this is the Yom Tif that will never be in his battle. Call me Adam Yibatelim. Purim, not just Purim is the essence of Yiddishkeit. It can't ever expire. You can't say, oh, Purim is over. You can't say Purim is over, because Purim never ends. Purim just intensifies. Doesn't mean the drink has to intensify. The Indian is, the essence is the Simcha, right? That's the Mitzvahs. And therefore we're still in Purim, Rabbi say, and we'll never leave Purim. And we come into Pesach with Purim. And therefore in Pesach, what is the story? That's the night that Tainus Esther, the only Seder, right? We will talk about there was this battle because Esther made the fast. The whole story of Purim is going on in the time of Pesach because it's a continuation. It just continues and continues. And if you think it ended afterwards, after Shuas Chav Gimel Sivan, you look at all the dates in the Megillah, it's all around the year you're involved in Purim. Chav Gimel Sivan, they changed the Gezerah. And the Vaiter, Asar B'Tevis, there's so much going on, and Gimel Tevis, there's so much in the dates. Purim is all year. And therefore, with the essences right now, I was still not there, heading to Parshas Parah, to infuse our Amunah, to infuse our Simcha. It doesn't make a difference how our Purim looked. I said a very stark word. I said Purim is a very busy day. Even if it was foolish, a person, it's a mistake. People think like you have to be drunk from shkia to shkia. That's not how it works. There's avoidance. There's avoidance. There's the Mishnah Simcha, and there's Megillah, and there's Matanos of Yoinim. But it's a busy day, and Be'ez Hashem, everyone will have big families very soon. It's busy, everyone's and it's very chashuv taka learning on Purim and davening on Purim. But the Metzius is, as Be'ez Hashem, unless you're a very big tzaddik and your wife is such a big tzaddikus and dismisses you for the 36 hours of Purim, but you can sit in Bismedish and learn, you can't. You ever saw a guy named Kippur say, wow, Dishim Kippur, I learned 8 hours a day. You tell the guy, how'd you do that? Where were you? It's a day of davening, that's what they say. The whole Tishrei is so busy with mitzvahs. Chodesh Cheshvan, when we change the clock the other way around, we have extra nights. That's the time to fill up, there's a time, a place for everything. So I said like this, that the idea of Sheisa v'Shivsa, very, very, very stark in the Kuda. Purim is a busy day, got a lot of mitzvahs. Actually, somebody told me from Gamliel Rabinovitz, he said that it's the day that all the oitzers, all the everything, the heavens are open, a person can mamish go fill up his Yeshuas, and avada we shouldn't, avada we will, and avada we did. But a guy makes a cheshbon, listen, I wanted it, but Megillah took hours. Matanos of Yoinim was going around looking for V'yoinim, Mishloach Monis, I had to go to 650 people, and it was the Purim, and then the day was over. He says, no, that's the Ratzon Hashem. So avada, greater than filling up the oiches is, I was just spending my whole day with the Hashem. The whole day was with Hashem. That's from Gamliel's word. The guy could tell, avada was oiches, but the biggest oiches was that I was doing the Ratzon Hashem. But I said more. I said the hashlama to that is sheisa v'shivsa. Sheisa v'shivsa, the Gemara says, and the Chassidish Sfarim all say, we don't say tachna sheisa v'shivsa because of this Indian of the hava mina. But what's the nekuda? The nekuda is that the Eibishter gave us 2 more days of Purim for all those avoid. It's fine. Mishnah Simcha Matanos of Yoinim, Chris McGill was Taki Dal and Tazvav. Sheisa v'shivsa is a day where I could still, the heavens are still open, the Tanoim still saw the light of Purim. This is the day to infuse Torah and Tefillah. Mamish, to sit and daven and cry. So now we're ready, you test. It doesn't make a difference. The whole month was Nepach Lanu L'Sasim L'Simcha. If a person, there's mitzvahs that were shaykh to Yadam Tezvav, but the essence of the whole Adar is everything is open, and my tefillas are still so special, and a person could still pack in avoidus tshuva, mitach simcha, and vekes, and mamish reach levels that he never thought he could ever reach. And the idea is the levels talking about is pashut, believing that the Eibishter is always there with you. Call a poished yad noistum loy. Therefore, the aleph is poished, all its yad and its hands and its feet. The aleph, this is an aleph. Stick out your hands and stick at your feet. Let everybody chap onto one piece. That's the nice aleph. Every yid is represents a nice aleph. Every yid is a nice aleph. Go like this and start. Every yid is a nice aleph. Every yid. Exercise class. Nice aleph. Exercise. Yeah. Stick out your hand. Aleph. And the Eibishter is doing the same thing. Adar, grab on. Really, grab on to here. Then grab to here. Grab the bottom. Grab the top. Right. So a place I let you, and that's you got to pick up the Yos Aleph, give everyone a chance to grab. That's what the Eibishter is doing, and that's the whole Aleph. That's the whole Adar. That's shach for the whole Adar. So the Eibishter should bless us that we should use this opportunity. Hashem, please give me the opportunity. Please give us all the opportunity. Is not to be foolish. Foolish doesn't mean let's lose our das. That's the foolish das. All these cheshbonis, but nothing but Yos Aleph. I said a funny thing. I was talking to Shal Shudis in our shul last week, and I said that the pasuk of last week's parsha, I was saying it right time. I'll skip it right time. I'll say what I said. Vayikol Moshe Daber Shem Moed Loimer. The first pasuk of Vayikol is Gamat Yechai Vinish L'Besumei B'Braya Ad Lo Yoda. And everyone looks at me, and everyone's like, "Whoa, you're so off. No shaykhis." I'm like, you see, you guys are thinking too deeply. You have the Ois Aleph in the pasuk of Vayikra. It's just a small Aleph, right? Why is it he wants to be recognized? These are the same font. You don't recognize him. That has to be so big. Give me small a little bit also. Because that's the only mishma you need in the Gematria. If you got the Aleph, the rest is history. You got the Lufa Shaloilim. Don't be so medactic if the Gematria works or not. You got the Ois Aleph. You got one mishmar right in there. You got then the rest is history. The Lufa Shaloilim. You got the Eibishter. That's in the Kud of Chodesh Adar. Leaving with the Eibishter. So let us be Zoichem Mamish, Heilige brothers, English sisters, Kant Cloud Yisrael. Let's live in holiness and kedusha. Always Mamish grabbing onto the Lufa Shaloilim and living with Emunah B'Tochen. Amen v'Yam V'Tech Simcha. La Yudem, La Yudem, Ma Hashem, La Yudem, sein vikar ayudem asavayo simcha sein vikar kein tie simcha sein vikar kein tie simcha sein vikar Oyr simcha visasan vikara Oyr simcha visasan vitale dayo leavdecha beyemes vitale dayo leavdecha beyemes ay ay ay
Haka